feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hello, my ladies and gentlemen. It is good to be back. We've had a very interesting day with updates, including in the Brianna case out of Texas. The APD has given a press conference earlier today, basically denying everything that Brianna's mom has had to say. Everything. She's been on not Nancy Drew. What's her name? Nancy, whatever. She's been on everything. She's been on every news channel. She's been on any true crime thing she can get on, advocating that her daughter was killed. But the APD came out today with a sledgehammer and basically destroyed any notion that this could be a homicide. Like, they left nothing on the table. They basically brought the artillery. They just shot it down. It was somewhat embarrassing to be honest. Very embarrassing. Hold on, who's emailing me? Hey Joe, what's up, brother? Thanks, buddy. I'll watch it later. Thanks, Joe. Good to hear from you, man. Joe just sent me a email. All right. I want to show you a little bit of this press conference, if I can get it up here. Actually, we'll go to Fox 7 first, and then I'll take you to the press conference.
Early Saturday morning, after the UT Texas A&M football game, Brianna Aguilera was found dead on a sidewalk after falling 17 stories.
All evidence in this case is indicative of suicide.
Aguilera's mother, Stephanie Rodriguez, says there's no way.
I know that my daughter was not suicidal.
Police say her phone records show otherwise.
A further review of Brianna's phone shows a deleted digital suicide note dated Tuesday, November 25th of this year, which was written to specific people in her life.
Police say they also learned Aguilera had expressed suicidal thoughts to friends the previous month, as well as sending a text the night of her death. Police providing a timeline of what happened, starting with her going to a tailgate in East Austin between 4 and 5 Friday evening.
And became intoxicated to a point that she was asked to leave the same tailgate. Witnesses stated that after Brianna was asked to leave the tailgate, she had repeatedly dropped her phone and staggered into a nearby wooded area where her phone and other items were later located by Austin police.
She leaves the tailgate at around 10. She's then seen on video going into a unit on the 17th floor at the 21 Rio Apartments in West Campus at around 11 that night. That's where she was supposed to be staying.
Brianna borrowed a phone of a friend to call an out-of-town boyfriend. Witnesses heard Brianna arguing on the phone with her boyfriend, which was also confirmed later by the boyfriend.
The call lasted about a minute. Just 2 minutes later, the 911 call came in about a body found on the sidewalk.
Did anyone watch her go over the balcony?
No, ma'am.
Nearly 12 hours later, the friends in the apartment called 911 to report Aguilera missing.
They assumed, because so many friends from their hometown were here in Austin staying at different locations, they had assumed she probably just went back out with another friend group.
Not only that, the APD also said that going against what the mom had been telling people in the press, the mom had said that the APD had not interviewed anyone from that house who was in that apartment. APD came out today and said not only did they interview them on the day they found her body, they had conducted secondary interviews with almost everyone that was there with Brianna. So a lot of these details that the mom has been going on social media, Nancy Grace, all this type of media coverage, a lot of the things she was saying was not true. Not only that, tomorrow morning, the mom and her lawyer, Tony Busby, You guys know who Tony Busby is, right? Have a press conference booked for tomorrow. The other thing is, the cops, the APD, wanted to tell the mum these details that they found in their investigation. She would not pick up their phone call. She spoke to them once on the weekend when they found Brianna's body and ID'd her. They then passed that information on to the mum. For the next 3 days, the APD tried to get in contact with her mother, and she would not take their call. Until one day before this press conference, she said, "Speak to my lawyer." So I think, judging from what we know now, my original story or my original theory was correct. This seems to be a mum who cannot come to terms with what happened to her daughter, and some of the information that has come out leads me to think that this mum was extremely overbearing. You know, you must have your location on, and if I call and text, you got to answer me. And this is a college student that's away from home. She's with other people. She's on campus, and the mum is demanding these things. Throughout her time away from home. And I get it. People are worried about their kids, that type of thing. But as soon as her daughter dies, she kicks into this like controlling sort of thing now with the death of her daughter. I want to talk to media. I'm going to talk to Nancy Grace. I'm going to put out a theory out there that my daughter was killed, and I'm not going to listen to the police, and I'm not going to take their calls. And we've seen this before. I have seen this before with other mothers of children who have died. Like, the children have died, and they have just not been able to come to terms with that their child would do something like that. As sad as it is, like, I don't think anyone here wishes that on their family at all. Like, if we could all bring Brianna back, I think we'd all make that decision as yes, that'd be a great thing. If humanity just had like one wish a day to bring someone back, I think we'd all be okay with bringing Brianna back. I don't think anyone wants to be mean to the family at all, but the facts are the facts, right? The mom said there was a fight between the people in the apartment and her daughter. In the press conference, they said that they looked for information about a fight. The only thing they could find was that Brianna punched one of her friends when she was being taken out of the tailgate because she was too intoxicated. There was no other fight. And again, another thing that runs contradictory to what the mum had to say. I just, it must be extremely hard to lose a child. It must be extremely hard to lose a young girl who seemed to be on the cusp of starting a great life, having, going to have a great career. And it must be extremely hard to wrap your head around that this has happened to you, that this is what your life is going to be now that your daughter's gone, and that this was a choice that she made. I I get it. It must be extremely difficult, and I don't think anyone wants to be mean to the mum. I just think that it's very difficult to buy into a murder theory if there's no evidence there of a murder theory. So they were also saying things about the phone. They did end up finding her phone. The phone was the phone ended up back with the family for a period of time, and then it ended up back with the APD. That phone is now going through forensics. They've been able to find a little bit on it. That's where they found the S word note. That was written on the 25th of November, and it was addressed to several people in Brianna's life. They also said that earlier that night that Brianna jumped from this building, she had exhibited SH behavior. I can't tell you that word. You're going to have to figure it out for yourself, but it's SH behavior. And she had exhibited this before her death. So you add these things up: SH behavior, an S word note, and then eventually falling from this balcony 2 minutes after speaking with her boyfriend, and they had an argument as well. So they had a bit of a disagreement, some sort of argument in this phone call. She's highly intoxicated, and less than 2 minutes later, she is 17 floors below on the ground, dead. I mean, it is a very sad story. So let me take you to the press conference that took place, and I will play a little bit for you. This is from KXAN Plus in Texas. So let me take you here.
As I've had a chance to speak with numerous members of her family and friend group, both here in Austin and College Station and in Laredo. All of them, it's completely apparent that she was very much loved. Every friend and witness during this investigation has been nothing but forthcoming and open during the entire time I've spoken with them. I've been in contact with dozens of people over the past week, and every single one of them has answered my calls, my text, submitted to interviews, and helped give answers from the moment that I've asked for that help. This also includes several people submitting to second interviews freely and without hesitation. The location this happened at, the 21 Rio Apartments, have also been helpful since the very beginning of this investigation. They've allowed us around-the-clock access to the apartment which Brianna was last seen at, as well as access to their internal camera system, which has been very beneficial in establishing a timeline of that evening's events. On Saturday, November 29th, at approximately 12:46 a.m., the Austin police officers responded to a call of a deceased person located at 2101 Rio Grande Street. The decedent, later identified as Brianna Aguilera, was located on the ground with trauma consistent to having fallen from a higher floor. Brianna was pronounced deceased at 12:56 a.m. I, along with crime scene specialists, responded to process the scene and interview witnesses. A witness informed officers that they had heard a sound of a thud and then observed a female on the ground. Initially, it was unknown who the decedent was and on what floor she had fallen. The medical examiner arrived on scene, and the body was taken to the medical examiner's office, where she was later positively identified. In the meantime, I was able to contact one of the employees at the 21 Rio Apartments at approximately 6 a.m. that same morning. The staff at 21 Rio were cooperative throughout this entire investigation. 10 a.m., we were able to access the cameras inside the apartment complex, which shows us the hallway areas. It was found that Brianna had arrived at the apartment complex just after 8 p.m. on Friday, November 28th, and that she went into a specific apartment on the 17th floor. Video surveillance has confirmed that a large group of friends left that same apartment at 12:30 a.m. on November 29th, leaving just Brianna and 3 other girls in the apartment. Now, on Saturday, November 29th, at approximately 12:54 p.m., I, along with patrol officers, made contact with the residents of that specific apartment that Brianna had been observed going into. The residents informed me that they were trying to report that their friend Brianna was missing. I was able later to confirm they had in fact placed a 911 call at 12:14 p.m. earlier that afternoon to report their friend Brianna was missing. They informed me that they were hosting friends for the Texas A&M football game and that Brianna was supposed to be staying there that preceding evening. I spoke with 3 different female witnesses on scene, as well as later a 4th witness who had left earlier that morning.
By the way, these witnesses, these girls, they voluntarily submitted to secondary interviews with the APD. They did it instantly. There was no fight. They, like he'll go on to explain, they were willing to do whatever they could to help the APD, including sitting down for multiple interviews with authorities. It doesn't seem like people that have something to hide. If they did, they would just lawyer up and stop talking. But they were okay to be interviewed before, they got interviewed very early on in the investigation. There was things they wanted cleared up, so they went back and asked if they could be interviewed again, and they said yes, they would submit to those interviews. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people here with anything to hide. We've seen much easier things to spot than that in other cases. Jackie said, not very good friends to leave her, get thrown out for being drunk, and let her leave alone. They didn't. They followed her out when she was ejected. They then took her back to the apartment and made sure she was in a safe. Well, nowhere is 100% safe, but they took her back to somewhere that was, safe. And yeah, no, they didn't leave her alone. They made sure she had someone with her because she was so intoxicated, and they wanted to make sure she got back to, because she's not familiar with the area. They were visiting, so they wanted to make sure that she was okay. I wanted to jump forward just to touch in this press conference. Hold on.
The investigation showed that Brianna had been at a tailgate party earlier in the day and became intoxicated to a point that she was asked to leave the same tailgate. She had told her friends that she had lost her phone at some point near that tailgate. They had all returned to the apartment where Brianna borrowed a phone of a friend to call an out-of-town boyfriend. Witnesses heard Brianna arguing on the phone with her boyfriend, which was also confirmed later by the boyfriend. Phones from both the phone Brianna used and the boyfriend's phone have confirmed through call logs that call did occur. Now, this call occurred at approximately 12:43 to 12:44 a.m., approximately 1 minute. This is 2 minutes before the 911 call of the body found down below on the pavement. On Saturday, November 29th, it was found that Brianna's mother, Stephanie Rodriguez, had called the Austin Police Department at 12:50 p.m. This was in an attempt to locate Brianna. Rodriguez called back an hour later at 2 p.m., stating the location of her daughter's missing phone. The phone was located by Austin police officers in a wooded area by 3:30 p.m. that afternoon near Walnut Creek in a field by the Austin Rugby Club. Through this investigation, it was found that Brianna had attended the tailgate on Friday, November 28th at the Austin Rugby Club, arriving between 4 and 5 p.m. and then leaving at approximately 10 p.m. Witnesses stated that after Brianna was asked to leave the tailgate, she had repeatedly dropped her phone and staggered into a nearby wooded area where her phone and other items were later located by Austin police. Just after 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 29th, officers from the scene paged homicide to inform them that they had located the property belonging to Brianna and determined that there was also a separate deceased person call with the same name. Rodriguez was notified of Brianna's death just before 5 p.m. Brianna's phone was placed with the rest of her property still on the 17th floor of the apartment for her family to later receive.
All right, I'll stop it there for a second. Well, Sean says, "What is a tailgate?" It's like a party for a football game. People would bring in their ute or truck, and they put down the tailgate and set up like benches and maybe like a grill or a barbecue, and they'll drink, they'll have music, and it's sort of like a party before, during, and after a football game. Can be the whole way through, can just be before, can be after. It's sort of like a party surrounding a football game. They do it in the NFL too. They have tailgates before most likely the NFL games, and there's like little clubs like that you can join, and I think they're similar to in college. They have ones where there's certain like little groups that you can become involved with. So yeah, it's like a big deal. There you go. Yeah, they grill food, socialize, listen to music. Sometimes they have like games on. They'll have like screens and you can watch like football and stuff. So it's like a bit of a celebration. And normally college ones, when they're versing like a rival team or something, those ones are really big. Those ones tend to be quite big affairs. All right, I want to go a little further.
On Monday, December 1st, the mother and father Brianna met with victim services and those of us in the homicide office at police headquarters. There, Rodriguez turned over Brianna's phone and gave it back to us. A further review of Brianna's phone shows a deleted digital suicide note dated Tuesday, November 25th of this year, which was written to specific people in her life. From the moment this call originated up until now, between all of the witness statements, all of the video evidence, and all of the digital evidence collected, at no time did any evidence point to this being anything of a criminal nature. Rather, our investigation has revealed that unfortunately Brianna had made suicidal comments previously to friends back in October of this year. This continued through the evening of her death, with some self-harming actions earlier in the evening and a text message to another friend indicating the thought of suicide. We recognize that hearing news like this can be difficult and may affect members of the community in very personal ways. If you or someone you know is experiencing emotional distress or mental health struggles, support is available. You can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, or contact Integral Care's 24-hour helpline at 512-472-HELP. That's 512-472-4357 to be connected with local crisis services, including mobile response teams. No one should have to navigate these kind of crises alone. Any questions?
So I'm going to leave the press conference there. I think you guys have heard most of it now. Kim says, poor baby, so young and away from home. It is a very sad situation all around. I feel for the family. Like he says in that press conference, Brianna's father was involved in the investigation. He was kept up to date throughout the whole thing. It's only the mum that stopped communicating with the APD. APD was unable to get in touch with her during the week, like so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The father, though, he was kept up to date, including before this press conference. So he knew all this information before it went to air. So it's very, very sad, all of it. Gayla said, take her to a hospital or stay with her. Don't let her out of your sight if she's telling you that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is some criticism that could be bestowed, there, but I think the young kids are not always going to do the right thing, even if that ends up in a tragic way like this. It's very hard to babysit someone when you've got these large groups. So they go on to say here that they actually thought Brianna went and hung out with a different group because they were in town and there were several different large groups of friends that were in town for the tailgate and the football game. They actually thought Brianna had left and gone to hang out with a different separate group of friends that were in town. And that's sort of why there was a bit of a delay in reporting her missing, because they just thought she was unhappy and she didn't want to be with these certain people, so she'd left. But yeah, I mean, there's probably a lesson in here about taking care of people and listening to them when they're telling you certain things. But from what I understand, so many people came forward to the APD because Brianna was so well liked and she had so many friends that the APD had trouble sorting through everything because there was so many people that kept bringing up wanting to offer help, offer information, talk about Brianna because she was so well liked and she had so many friends. And they were saying that that was a testament to her, that there was so many people that didn't care about repercussions of underage drinking or maybe some other things. They just wanted it to sort of be known about what happened that night. So yeah, there was actual people that came forward that could have been arrested and charged for underage drinking, and they were okay telling the cops information because they just wanted to be transparent about what was going on. Yeah, I think, like I said, there's a lesson to be found in there, I'm sure. Rachel said her poor mom is probably having a very difficult time. I've watched a few interviews with her, including the one on Nancy Grace, and I agree. I think for some people, probably for a lot of people, when they lose a child, some people can accept that reality and then find a way of processing it eventually, and then finding ways to honor their life. Some of them can never, ever be okay with what happened. They will forever think that there's something nefarious there. I can show you several cases where there's been parents of children who have done this, and they have gone on years-long rampages assuring everyone that there is a sinister motive and that there is a killer out there somewhere. I promise you, I've seen this at least a handful of times, and there are some very serious ones out there that have devolved into some very bad things. I don't want to go too far into it so that I don't make myself a target. That's how serious it is. Um, yeah, it's unfortunate. I do think when you have such a grasp on your child and their sort of life and things like that, I think her mum probably thinks, well, why didn't she reach out to me for help? If my daughter was going to do something like this, she would have come to me. And I think and I don't want to blame anyone. I'm just saying, I think it's part of it is why maybe she felt so pressurized and she wanted to hide things because, you know, when everyone's in your business 24 hours a day, it can feel overwhelming. And some of the information I've heard, I spoke to one of Brianna's friends today from the university, and they said while her mum is a lovely lady, very nice lady, she said her and Brianna had some ups and downs to their relationship throughout her time at college, and not saying that it was a cause of what Brianna did, just that, kids at this age go through so many different things. They have to find their place in the world. They've got graduation. They've got grades to keep up. They've got interpersonal relationships. They've got family relationships, and they're trying to juggle all these things. And sometimes it just becomes too much. And it seems like maybe that's what happened here. I hear Morning says sometimes kids don't want to let their parents down, so they only put on their best face. It could have been something like that. Her mum was obviously very proud of her, and she was going to go off and do law school and become this big shot lawyer and have a great career. And um, yeah, you can piece the things together. Gail said she lost it after leaving the tailgate. It definitely seems like she didn't take it very well that she was kicked out. So she was kicked out. She even threw a punch at a friend. So this girl, I tightly wound like a coil is sort of the description I was given from this friend. The friend said again, Brianna, lovely girl, everyone loves her, everyone thinks she's a lovely person, but at the same time, at times she could be tightly wound like a coil, and it was just pressure and college and wanting to live a great life and have a great career and um, stresses, financial, uh, things that happen when you were young too. So she had a lot of things going, unfortunately. Woman of Steel said maybe mum was a bit much when Brianna was trying to be an adult. Could be. Gail said, sorry, that was her bag and phone in the woods. Yes, she lost it at some point during the night. It ended up over there. Kim said, I wonder if the mom was putting too much pressure on her. I don't want to go down that route of trying to assign blame on anyone. I just want to I just wanted to paint a picture. I don't think there's any blame to go around. But I don't know. I think there's sometimes a fine line between pushing your kids to do great things and then becoming too overbearing. But I don't know that extent of their relationship. I was just told that they had ups and downs throughout her time at college. Not that it wasn't anything serious or it did anything, just that I guess all kids probably have, you know, great days and bad days with their parents, and that probably goes on for the rest of their life. So, yeah, no, I didn't say you were. I'm just saying I don't want to. I don't want to blame anyone. I just think it's a very sad story, and we hear a lot about these. This one just made it so far because of that media coverage early on. This happens frequently. This happens weekly. I've seen stories where New York, Colorado, Florida, out in California, Carolinas. It happens all over the country. This one got a bit more media coverage than normal because for a minute, some people thought there was something nefarious here. Now, he says in this press conference that the underage drinking claim has been referred to the alcohol, firearms, and ATB or whatever they're called. they're doing an investigation into underage drinking at the tailgate, but he wasn't sure whether anything would be done or if anyone would be charged over it at all. So he just said he didn't know, but he just said they are aware of the underage drinking. Kim says it's easy to do it to our kids without meaning to. Definitely. Definitely. Woman has still said, careful with the alcohol. I used to drink way too much until I got a grip on it. It's dangerous. Ping doesn't drink. I don't drink alcohol. So, I mean, occasionally for like weddings and things like that, but day to day, I don't drink alcohol. Gail says the fact it was a 17th floor and it was a female is unusual. It is, yeah, I think that made it unusual. I think there were some points about the timeline that made it sort of interesting to media and true crime watchers and things like that. So I think that's why it sort of got a bit of a life of its own on the internet. He goes on to say here that Brianna's friends, the people she was with that weekend, the APD, a lot of people were very concerned about the chatter online, that there was a lot of rumors going around and that they didn't match the facts of the investigation. And apparently it was making the grieving process for people who knew Brianna harder. And they said that they were upset by it and that they had wished they could get out this press conference earlier, but they need to complete their investigation and speak to everyone before they tell the public anything. And that's why it took so long for them to make a public announcement about Brianna's death. So I hope that sort of explains what happened. I'm not thinking we're going to hear too much more. From what I understand, that'll be it. But we are going to have this press conference with Tony Busby and the mum tomorrow. So I will bring you that tomorrow and we will find out what the mother has to say. Now, I'm always open to listening to what the mum has to say. Maybe she has other information she wants to present to the public, and she is well within her right to do so. And we'll see. We'll see. If you don't know who Tony Busby is, Tony Busby has represented many plaintiffs in maybe the biggest one recently people would know would be Deshaun Watson. So if you know Deshaun Watson, used to be a quarterback for the Houston Texans. He ended up being he went to trial and then he settled with a bunch of these women for a lot of money when he got moved to Cleveland. When when he went to Cleveland, the Browns over there, Tony Busby brought a bunch of civil cases against him. I think they tried to get charges against him with a grand jury, but I think they declined to indict. And they went after him civilly, and he ended up settling for like millions and millions and millions of dollars. So he's fairly well known for lawsuits, and I would expect that there may be a lawsuit coming against Texas A&M and maybe other people too. So we'll see. Yeah, so you guys would know him maybe from that. I don't know if was he involved with Diddy? I don't know. I just know him from the football thing. All right. That's your update about Brianna. A very sad update. Not what we want to hear, but at least it has cleared a few things up and it's given some more clarity to what actually happened last weekend. At least I think so. All right. So last night we were talking about a story that Ping couldn't remember, and I was trying to rack my brain like, what is this story that we did last year? And the story was about human remains that were found like in various parts of a block. So a street and houses and a block of, land. And I was trying to rack my brain like, where did this come from and what story? Because we do thousands of stories every year. And I was like, I wonder if there's been an update to it. I don't remember seeing one, but maybe there was. Well, I found it. And there was an update. They found out who these human remains belong to. And I'm going to show it to you now. So it is in Greensboro, North Carolina. So I was right that it was in the Carolinas, but I thought it was South Carolina, but it was in North Carolina. So it's in Goldsboro, not Greensboro, Goldsboro. And so Goldsboro, North Carolina, human remains found behind a Wayne County house last year have been identified by the medical examiner. The remains belong to a 29-year-old woman called Caitlin Hodges. And they're saying that she was reported missing by the PD on July 25th, 2024. And the investigation picked up when human remains were found on December 10th last year in the Dollardtown Road area of Goldsboro. They're saying on March 20, the sheriff's office was notified that the remains were likely Hodges, according to the medical examiner. On April 8, they positively identified the remains as her. According from what I understand, she was only about 10 minutes from home when they found her remains, and they don't know how she got there, even today. They're saying it was the second set of remains found within weeks apart in the same area. Prior to Hodges' remains being found in December, deputies received a 911 call on November 20 about some possible human remains. And they're saying they found a human skull behind someone's home, and they believe it was part of her as well. So why her remains were scattered over this large area with her remains found over several weeks, don't know. And they don't know sort of how she died or why she died. They're still investigating it. But there is a photo of her here, and I want to play it for you. It's only about 20 seconds long.
Human remains found in the backyard of a home in Goldsboro. And so they have discovered that the homeowner's dog discovering a human skull last December. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office now saying the remains are this woman, 25-year-old Caitlin Hodges. Hodges was reported missing last July. The case is still under investigation, and anyone with any information is asked to call the Wayne County Sheriff's Department.
So that's her there, and young lady, very young lady, but they don't know anything about why she ended up there and why her remains were so spread out. It's very odd. The one thing that came to me is maybe because she was found on a road, maybe it was a hit and run. Maybe someone hit her, and that would explain why some of the remains were found over here and why some of the remains were found over there. Often when you get a collision between a human and a car, people can be severely dismembered. So I don't know if that's what happened, but that's what comes to my mind when I hear about it. But yeah, it's very sad. They said back when it happened, the lady thought it was a Halloween prop that someone had dumped, but it wasn't. Let me see if I can find anything else about this young lady. So there was. So back in December last year, about a year ago now, yeah, the first body was discovered just before 4:15 on November 20 at a home in the 900 block of Dollardtown Road. The human remains were sent to the medical examiner. Less than a month later, on Tuesday, December 10th, around 2:15 p.m., dispatchers got a call about human remains near the same address. And this is sort of the area here.
Yeah, guys, very terrifying for that family. They live just off this road right here. And this is twice that they have now had to endure this. This all started the week before Thanksgiving when they believe their dog found a skull in the yard. And so what they said, they got home from school, and the woman who lives there found that skull. I want to show you that picture right now. Maybe a little bit disturbing, but this is what they saw. As a matter of fact, at first, they said it almost seemed like a Halloween decoration. And of course, they did immediately call the sheriff's office. They did come out here and found, yes, in fact, this was human remains. At that time, they searched the area, didn't find anything else. But then fast forward to a couple of weeks later to this week, their dog also found even more bones. So obviously very scary for that family. Of course, they called the sheriff's office the second time. I spoke to the Wayne County Sheriff's Office again today. They say that they believe that this was all from the same person, just different sets of remains, but they believe this was one person. But obviously a lot of unanswered questions. The family very much shaken up by this.
Highly decomposed. Highly decomposed. Like no flesh left. Like it's just a skull. No anything. So she'd been there for a while. But you look at this big main road they're on. If you were walking down that road and someone hit you, I have a funny feeling that might be what happened. Unless someone dumped her by the side of the road. I mean, it's a possibility. But if I show you, yeah, you can see on this one here, there's Dollard Town Road. It's a big, long, straight road. And she was found off the side of the road. So something tells me that's a possibility that maybe she was walking down that road, maybe late at night or something, and someone hit her. It would make sense to me. She was reported missing, yes. Yeah, I know, right? It is, especially when it's so graphic. Like if we go back to that other video, I mean, that's what they found. That's not, something small. That is an entire skull. But I noticed it's missing the jawbone. It's no jawbone under here. It's only the top part of the skull. No vertebra on her head either. No vertebra on the neck. No jawbone. Just the top part of the skull. It's very strange. Um, very odd. That would be concerning to me. I don't know what the medical examiner thinks, but odd way to find remains. I'm just gonna have a look for Caitlin Hodges. I'm going to take you to another video from ABC 11.
Yeah, the family of Caitlin Hodges only speaking with Eyewitness News, telling me she would have turned 30 this past Monday. She was missing for months before her remains were found, and they say they simply want answers.
We want an end to this for my family. It's been ongoing for so long.
There are still many questions Jennifer Alio and her loved ones have. Speaking with me virtually from Denver, Colorado, and sharing memories about her first cousin, Caitlin Hodges.
Caitlin is my baby cousin. She was born about 10 years after, the rest of us. So she was always got a lot of love, is very special.
Hodges was reported missing in July of last year. She says a 29-year-old and her boyfriend lived in Crystal Lake, Illinois, but took a trip to Goldsboro, North Carolina to visit his family for a few weeks.
They were staying at the mother's house when this happened, and he reported to police that he went to work and that Caitlin left in the middle of the day.
The Wayne County Sheriff's Office confirming human remains found in the 900 block of Dollard Town Road in Goldsboro belong to Hodges. We reported last year that a week before Thanksgiving, a skull and other human remains were found here in the woods behind these homes.
When people say things like, she just left in the middle of the day, those type of things worry me, because so many times it's being like the husband or the boyfriend or something like that, and they're just like, she just disappeared, she just left. She left her phone, her keys, her car, everything. She just left, maybe with another guy. I would be investigating that partner and trying to find out more about that timeline, because it's almost like she was dismembered. Like those remains almost look dismembered to me, like she had been cut up. Now, I would have thought the medical examiner would be able to tell if there are any tools involved in her being dismembered. If you use a tool, a saw, anything like that, it leaves little impressions on the bone, and they're able to tell under a microscope if tools had been used to dismember her. I would want to know that information from them, from the medical examiner. If there are no tool marks or anything like that, what else could have happened to her? Because, yeah, it's very, very strange. Even in this article, the first one I showed you, there's no indication whether they think it's foul play or anything. They say the case is still under investigation. Anyone with information about this case is asked to contact the Wayne County Sheriff's Office at 919-731-1481 or Crime Stoppers at 919-735-2255. And yeah, like nothing here that says anything. Nothing here about like if you think about like foul play or anything like that. Yeah, Crystal Lake is where she was originally from. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look at something here. Apparently, her sister also recently died. So the family lost two daughters recently. I'm just trying to see if there's any other information that we can find about her. So she was originally from Crystal Lake, and I'm pretty sure that's in Idaho, right? Is that right? Idaho? Where is Crystal Lake? I would have thought that's Idaho. Hold on, Crystal Lake. Oh no, maybe Illinois. Was it Illinois? Wait. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look here. Here, you guys can read along with me. Yeah, her remains were found 14 minutes from the house where she was staying with her boyfriend and his mum. There's a photo of her, by the way. There's another one. What a pretty girl. What do we say here? Let's have a look. Yeah, no details about whether they think this is suspicious or not. Illinois, yeah. So Crystal Lake, Illinois. It's a long way from home, right? Carolina. It's not exactly close by. Let me have a look here. All right. Hey, Sean sent in a donation. Sean, thank you very much. I will say, in the last month, besides three other people, Sean is the only one to have been regularly donating to the channel, and I appreciate it. Because without Sean, I think we might have to shut up the channel. I appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, very strange. Her remains, the way they were found, disturbed me. Like, there's no flesh. There's no skin. It's like they've been out there a really long time. But when you look at the timeline, it's not that long. It's only like a few months. And for her to go from human being to this is disturbing, really disturbing. Very strange. So I don't know. There is no further update, but I thought at least since we covered this a year ago, I could bring you an update to it. A story that I know at the time everyone was very interested in about who and why there were multiple remains found in Wayne County. Well, now we know. Took about, when did they have this update was from earlier this year in April. And it took them 4 or 5 months to actually figure out who this might be. So very, very sad. Still today, no update on who, where, why, how she died, anything. So it's sad. It really is sad. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had more information for you. Hopefully we will get eventually, like, it's strange that they don't even tell us, is it foul play? Like, is there any suspicious? Like, are they looking at the boyfriend? Do they think she might have been hit by a car? Like, they're not even saying anything like that. All they'll say is it's under investigation. That's it. Uh, I don't know what to tell you. I find that strange too. I find that, like, are they investigating where she might have been last, other than walking? Like, it's just a lot of unanswered questions, which is exactly what her family was saying. A lot of unanswered questions. Wayne County killers. Yeah, just no further details since April of this year. I was just trying to have another look whether they had arrested someone, had they questioned people. There's nothing. Just that they confirmed that it was Caitlin Hodges. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Oh, that's interesting. So in March, a month before they made the announcement that it was Caitlin Hodges, right? The medical examiner actually came to the deputies and told them those remains were not Caitlin Hodges. They said, "Oh no, it's not her," but apparently they had a mix up with their DNA samples, and they came back with a not a match between Caitlin Hodges and the remains they found, and it came back negative. But apparently they figured out when they retested it that somewhere along the line their DNA sample got polluted, and it was useless. So that was very lucky because they could have almost said, well, these remains are not her, and they would have spent the next 20 years wondering where did Caitlin go. So they actually screwed it up. So this poor lady, even in death, has been hard done by. Love is hey, my friend, how are you? Laura's my thing. Hey, Laura's my thing. Laura's my thing. I like that. Do not shut down. We love you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's very kind. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Kim being a new member, I very much appreciate that. It's that YouTube issue from September is still ongoing, unfortunately, and there's no end in sight. We've been trying to reach out and talk to YouTube about how to fix it, and it seems like it's an issue for everyone, not just me, other creators, other people. So what the actual issue was is they changed the way they counted views to the channel, and views are basically how we get paid on YouTube. So when we used to get our views or whatever, it used to be more, and now it's like reduced to like a quarter of what it was before. And they're saying that, oh, there's nothing wrong. That's just the way it is done now. So I don't think it's ever going to get fixed, and I don't think it's ever going to be back to the way it was. So it's made it very difficult on creators over the last few months. It's just we're going to have to learn to deal with it and figure out other ways of doing stuff. But yeah, they basically changed the way they counted when people watch the channel, how long they view it, and the analytics for it. They now changed slightly the way they say, well, that person watched and they watched an ad, so you get X, Y, and Z. But they modified it, and now it's like, well, no, they have to do this too, and for this long, and yeah, very annoying. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's not you guys. I appreciate all my viewers. So foot pics. Hey, Shoal Huffman, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Foot pics. What is a foot pic? Are you saying I should take foot pics? I don't think anyone wants to see Ping's feet. My feet look like Shrek. Yeah, I don't think anyone needs that in their life. I don't think anyone needs that in their life. By the way, I'll show you a very sad story. It's going to be a bit of a short show tonight. I have to go out and do something for the in-laws in a minute. I'm just waiting for Mrs. Ping to get out of the shower. But I wanted to show you this story, and I don't want people jumping down my throat or anything. There was this story that came out earlier today. Dog mauls female owner 39 to death in Whyalla in South Australia. They're saying that this dog was so violent that neighbors like had reported it to the local government, had tried to get the owners to get rid of the dog. This is the girl right here that died after the dog attacked her. Apparently, the dog almost ripped her arm from her body a few months ago, and they still refuse to do something with the dog. Today, the dog destroyed her. The dog killed her, tore her apart, and she died. And it makes me very angry when I see people who are shitty pet owners and then they get killed. I mean, I'm sad that they died, but I'm more sad that the pet is treated unfairly, and that obviously the dog's had a shitty life to be acting like that. And now look, it's probably going to cost the dog its life, and now this woman has died too. Both unnecessary, both very unnecessary. But apparently, a few months ago, that dog got out and chased a cat and almost killed the cat as well. So yeah, that came out in South Australia today, and yep, she lost her life today. Very, very sad. Kathy says, "I pay YouTube to not see ads. Does that hurt you financially?" No. When you buy YouTube Premium and you watch one of my videos, I get a tiny little bit of your YouTube Premium. So no, no, no. If you pay for YouTube Premium, we get a little tiny percent from it. So no, no, that's fine. What does hurt is if you use an ad blocker. If you one of these people that use an ad blocker and just get rid of all ads on YouTube, that hurts because we don't get anything from you watching the video at all. So, but I get it. Hey, I have an ad blocker sometimes for news articles and stuff. I can't be a hypocrite and tell people not to do it. So, I mean, I get it. So, but yeah, that they count as 0. If you have an ad blocker on, it counts as 0 for the channel. Yeah, so yeah, this dog ended up killing her. Very, very sad. And the dog will probably be destroyed. I don't know if that's the dog. They had several. I'm not sure if that's the same one or not. But yeah, it mauled her to death, almost tore out her arm. About a few months ago, it grabbed onto her arm and almost yanked out her arm out of the socket. So feel bad about the dog. Feel bad about the woman who died. I feel like both could have been avoided if people had done the right thing. The owners of the dog done the right thing and treated the dog fairly throughout its life. Maybe if they seen a sign of problem, be a responsible pet owner and try and train the dog or get behavioral stuff for it. And people just don't. I don't know. Did it? Can you give a dog a tattoo? No, that's her hand. That's her hand. That's her hand. There you go. That's her hand. She's got a star on her hand here. There you go. No, the dog didn't have a tattoo. Yeah, I'll take that down. There you go. It's her hand wrapping around the dog. Danny says, I didn't know there was an ad block. I guess I won't use it for my favorite. Yeah, if you didn't know that, it's an interesting thing, right? We did that story yesterday. That's why, unfortunately, we actually did it yesterday. So we did the drunk raccoon on yesterday's show. You must have missed it. But yeah, we did that one yesterday where he broke into the alcohol store, stole the liquor, broke the bottles, and then passed out in the toilet. So silly, silly raccoon. Dogs in Holland get their ears tattooed. Really? In Holland? Hey Joe, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm gonna have to go in a second because Mrs. Ping just got out of the shower. The court has been not great the last couple of days. Thursday we got adjourned. No court all day. I don't know the reason. I just got told we're not doing it today and to come back on Friday. Came back on Friday and got told the same thing. It's adjourned till Monday, and I didn't get told the reason. So I don't know. All I know is that we were at a very important part of the trial, which was Jody Hill was giving evidence in her own defense, and then it just shut down. And I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm hoping I'll find out on Monday. But yeah, 2 days this week, Thursday, Friday, no court. So don't know. Don't know, but I was expecting to be back there today, watching the rest of that cross-examination of Jody Hill, and Don't know what's going on. It was listed today on the docket, and no court. So don't know. Yeah, no court for 2 days. Very, very odd. And we'll find out what the reason is on Monday. I've never seen that happen. I've seen small breaks, like half a day, an hour, sometimes even a whole day, but not 2 days in a row. That's what I was thinking. Was there a change in plea? Because that happened in Lachlan Young. And Lachlan Young, that happened, and they took 2 days off for the change in plea. And I was like, wow, she was just on the stand. Is she changing her plea? Maybe. I don't know. Rachel, yeah. So I'll tell you on Monday what's going on about with that. But we did not get to do any court for the rest of the week. Kathy said, "Did you and Mrs. Ping decorate for?" I have something. Hold on. Okay, I don't have something. But me and Mrs. Ping bought a Kit Kat like gingerbread house, and you build it out of Kit Kat. So we're going to do that on the channel, maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend, and we're going to build this gingerbread house out of Kit Kat. It's like a giant kit, and you build the house, and it's got a Santa Claus, and so we're going to do that. We don't have a Christmas tree. We were looking for one, and we couldn't find one with a fiber optic. All right, I have to go. Hey guys, I love you. I'm getting yelled at that I'm taking too long, and I have to go have a shower and go see my in-laws. So I love you all very much. Thank you for the super chats and the memberships. I appreciate it. It's very kind. To Kim and Laura's my thing. Thank you very much. Yeah, and then we'll break it. I'll be back tomorrow for a much longer show. We're not doing anything this weekend, so we can hang out and talk true crime. But I've got to go meet my in-laws, or I'll be in big trouble. So I got to go help them with their computer. So I got to do that. I love you all. Updates for tonight. Hope they were good. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.